Welcome back. You are watching Ozarks tonight. I'm David Oliver, joined tonight, honored to be joined by Missouri Senior Senator Roy Blunt from our nation's capital. Senator Blunt, thank you for joining us during what's been an unanticipated and unprecedented week.
Well, glad to be with you, David.
So I want to start, we have a lot to get to, with what's making news today. The news today, the headline is that the Capitol Police officer, a 12-year veteran of the Capitol Force, Brian Sicknick, has passed away after injuries he sustained during the riot there on our U.S. Capitol on Wednesday. Your first reaction to that news?
Well, I spend a lot of time with the Capitol Police. One, we see them every day, and two, I chair the committee that has the oversight responsibility for the police. It's a great force. They put themselves out there every day at a building that has become a target, not like the target it was this week, but the injured officers, their families, thinking about all of them, and frankly, thinking about the poor people that were among the rioters that have died as a result of this totally outrageous decision that they made that endangered the police and was shameful for the country all over the world. I can't imagine a bigger gift we could have given to our adversaries than to show the United States Capitol under attack by Americans and even seized for a short period of time by Americans who would, in most cases, I think, have never thought about doing that until they did it. And what a huge mistake for them and for the country.
Right, and we're going to talk much more about the attack. I want to get to one other piece of news that's happening today. The president tweeted this morning to those who have asked him he will not be attending the inauguration. Senator Blunt, you chair the committee that plans the inauguration. So what is your reaction to this news that President Trump will become the first president to not attend the inauguration of his successor since 1869? And also, are you worried about security during the upcoming inauguration?
Well, my statement over the last several weeks had been that I hope he would decide to attend, but I'm going to honor his decision. We're going to plan for an inauguration that will not include him. I still think there's a chance that the vice president will be there, and certainly he'd welcome if he's there and encouraged to be there. In terms of security for the inauguration, it is a vulnerable time for our government. As I said 4 years ago when I chaired this, on a day when the candidate I had voted for was being inaugurated, getting people back inside always a relief, because here we are, the government comes together, the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch of government. Every past president that could be there has traditionally come to that event, as I think they will this time. And so there's a vulnerability there, but we plan everything we can, much higher level of security than the Capitol Police had planned for what they, I believe, I've been told, thought was going to be very similar to the November and December demonstrations that it turned out to be differently.
Let's go back to Wednesday. You were inside the U.S. Capitol preparing to do your constitutional duty to certify the electoral votes from the last presidential election. The riot, the attack begins. And in fact, I was watching Twitter, and you were, sir, among the very first lawmakers in our state to tweet out on Wednesday, and you said, I'm going to read your tweet, "The events unfolding at the Capitol are shameful. There's no justification for violence and destruction. It has to stop now." Again, you were one of the very first in Missouri to tweet out during the events happening Wednesday. Were you scared at all for your personal safety? And let me ask you, how does this happen at a building that most would assume is one of the most secure in our nation?
Well, that last question is a question we're obviously going to be asking ourselves. I had tried to keep up with what they had planned to do for security. I think the FBI intelligence and other intelligence was that this would be very much like the November and December activity, but it was absolutely unacceptable. It was outrageous. It sent the wrong message. There was some danger, and the answer to was I scared? No. The answer to should I have been scared? Maybe. But the Capitol Police do their job. They got us out of that building to one of the office buildings. Not too long after we were there, a couple of hours after they were there, I reached back out both to the police and the architect of the Capitol and said, we need to be back in the Capitol as soon as we can. We need to do the job that constitutionally we're doing today, we're supposed to do it. And I said, the House and Senate chamber, if the lights work, if the microphones work, if the cameras work, don't worry about cleaning up debris. Don't worry about whether something else is broken. We need to end this day by showing that the government and democracy is bigger than these rioters are.
There's going to be a lot of debate, sir, coming up in the next weeks and months to come about what fueled this riot, this attack on our nation's democracy at the Capitol building there. A lot of conspiracy theories out there, clearly, that some would say fueled this with the people who were behind this believing that the election was stolen, as the president told those folks. At what point do members of your party have to come out and say, hey, folks, this wasn't stolen, this was all on the up and up?
Well, I think we've said that in the activities of the week. Plenty of, I worked hard for the president. The president had lots of great accomplishments. I was eager to share those in Missouri, where I was the co-chairman of his reelection, and around the country as I was asked to do that. I wish he'd been elected. I then defended his right to take every piece of information they had to court. But democracy it has to be honored, and it's not for sissies. When you lose, you lose. When you win, you win.
I have to ask you as well about your counterpart here in Missouri, Senator Josh Hawley. He's facing mounting criticism over his objection to the election results. Some say that he helped to incite the riot. There are calls for him to resign. Have you spoke to him, and what's your reaction to those calls?
Well, I haven't spoken to him today, but we talk all the time. He is a good member of the Senate. He's very smart. He can will be part of helping the country move forward, as he was in his remarks on Wednesday, and I think a lot of this discussion is not going to produce and shouldn't produce any result. And he and I happen to disagree on this, but I was open to any new material that he had to present and that Senator Cruz had to present.
There are calls this week for the president to resign. There's talk of the 25th Amendment, perhaps impeachment. Where do you stand on that issue? And also, if Donald Trump runs again in 2024, would you support him then?
Well, I have plenty of decisions that I'm making every day right now without worrying about some decision I'd make on some hypothetical situation. I will say on impeachment, that's not going to happen. And on the 25th Amendment, Vice President Pence has proven this week that the president continues to be surrounded with people of good judgment and respect for the Constitution.
Missouri Senior Senator Roy Blunt, I appreciate your time, sir.
You bet. See you soon, David.
All right, thank you. More Ozarks tonight after this quick break.